The Force is old and full of shadows.
Light collapses into sound. Mortis fractures. The father's touch lingers on Anakin's brow, but the wash of forgetting does not come. The son's scream becomes a memory that will not unmake itself. The daughter's sacrifice echoes. The realm of living symbols dissolves into the Force, and Anakin returns with everything intact. Mustafar, Padme's last breath, the Jedi temple aflame. Youngling's cries, Palpatine's smile, the mask sealing shut, Luke's hand severed, Luke forgiving him. Vader's final breath. The future is not a warning that fades, it is a wound that will not close. He comes back to air and metal. The crash back into reality, cold air fills his lungs. He coughs, the sound raw in the shuttle's dim light, the hum of the Resolute systems, the faint scent of ozone and coolant. Ahsoka lies slumped in her seat, breathing but unconscious. Obi-Wan sits across from him, eyes closed in meditation, unaware of the storm inside Anakin. His right hand, the prosthetic he received after Geonosis, twitches. It is a reminder of what already happened in this timeline, and of what he has now seen will happen again. He flexes the fingers slowly. The metal is familiar. The memory of losing flesh on Geonosis is still his, the battle that started the Clone Wars. The duel with Dooku where he lost his hand and gained this mechanical replacement, now layered on top of that memory, is what this hand will do as Vader. Choking officers who fail him, crushing windpipes, killing with casual brutality. The same hand, different purposes. Obi-Wan opens his eyes. Anakin, you're awake. Mortis took a lot out of you. Anakin forces a breath. It did. Obi-Wan studies him with the steady concern of a master. Not his master anymore. Anakin was knighted 2 years ago, shortly after Geonosis. But Obi-Wan still watches him like an apprentice who needs protecting. You look pale. Did something happen before we left? Anakin sees Mustafar Obi-Wan's robes empty where a man once stood. He sees the blade raised. He sees the look in his own yellow eyes. He swallows the truth down. No, he says, just disoriented. Obi-Wan accepts it. That trust, absolute, unguarded, lands in Anakin's chest like a blow. He does not deserve it. Not with what he remembers. Ahsoka stirs, her mantras shifting as she wakes. She's 16 now, been his Padawan for just over a year. In the vision, he saw her leave the Order, saw her walk away, betrayed and broken, and saw how her departure pushed him closer to the edge. Master? Her voice is groggy. Are we back on the ship? We're back, Snips. How do you feel? Like I got hit by a freighter. What happened on Mortis? It's all fuzzy. The father erased some of your memories to protect you from what you saw. What about you? Did he erase yours? Anakin's prosthetic hand clenches. He tried, but he didn't succeed. Whether the father was too weak in his dying moments, or whether he chose to leave Anakin with the burden, the result is the same. The future sits in Anakin's mind like a tumor, growing and spreading. The plan that forms the Resolute is a Venator-class Star Destroyer, over a kilometer long, carrying thousands of clone troopers and hundreds of support personnel. Anakin walks its corridors in a fog of images. He hears briefings in the background, sees clones at their posts, feels the Force in a way he never has before. Deeper, older, threaded with terrible knowledge. Mortis changed him. The realm where the Force took physical form, where beings of pure light and darkness existed, where time moved strangely and reality bent. He spent what felt like weeks there, but the Chrono says they were gone for 3 days. 3 days. In 3 days, his entire understanding of the future shattered and reformed. Captain Rex approaches in the hangar. His armor bears the blue markings of the 501st Legion, Anakin's personal battalion. Good to have you back, sir. We were starting to worry. It's good to be back, Rex. Anakin looks at his captain, loyal, brave Rex, who in the vision had his inhibitor chip removed and helped Ahsoka survive Order 66. How are the men? Restless. 3 days without orders feels like 3 weeks to them. They're ready to get back to the fight. The fight, the Clone Wars, now in their 2nd year, started at Geonosis when the Republic discovered the Separatists' droid army and unveiled their secret clone army. Jedi became generals overnight. Peacekeepers became warriors. Everything changed at Geonosis, and Anakin lost his hand there. 20 years old, dueling Count Dooku, overconfident and outmatched. The blade that severed his wrist also severed his innocence. He learned pain, learned loss, learned that he wasn't invincible. Now he's 21, a veteran of dozens of battles, commander of the 501st, and carrier of memories from a future where he becomes the galaxy's greatest monster. Rex, I need to ask you something. Hypothetically, the captain's expression sharpens. Rex has always been perceptive. Sir, if you received an order that contradicted everything you believed in, an order that went against your brothers, against the Jedi, would you follow it? Rex doesn't hesitate. No, sir. My loyalty is to the Republic and to the Jedi who lead us, not to orders that betray what we're fighting for. Even if the order came from the highest authority? From someone you're programmed to obey? Programmed? Rex's tone shifts. Sir, we're not droids, we choose. That's what makes us soldiers instead of machines. Anakin wants to tell him about the chips, about the organic control devices buried in every clone's brain, placed there by the Kaminoans under orders from Darth Sidious, about how Order 66 will override that choice, force obedience, turn brothers into murderers. But he can't. Not yet. Rex wouldn't believe him without proof. And even with proof, what could one captain do against a conspiracy spanning the entire Grand Army of the Republic? You're right, Anakin says. You're soldiers, not machines. I just needed to hear you say it. Rex salutes. Is everything all right, General? You seem different since Mortis. Everyone notices. Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Rex, even random clone troopers Anakin passes in the corridors. They sense something changed. They just don't know what. I'm fine, Captain, just processing what we experienced. Mortis was intense. Understood, sir. If you need anything, the 501st has your back. Always. Always. In the vision, the 501st marched on the Jedi Temple under Vader's command. They killed Jedi, slaughtered younglings, burned the archives. Rex wasn't with them. His chip had malfunctioned, letting him escape with Ahsoka. But the rest of the 501st followed orders without question. Anakin's legion, his men, turned into instruments of genocide because of devices implanted before they were even born. The Council's suspicion. The Council chamber on Coruscant is accessed via hologram from the Resolute. 12 Jedi Masters appear in miniature, their attention focused on Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka as they report on Mortis. Master Yoda sits in his customary position, ancient eyes studying them. Mace Windu stands with arms crossed, skeptical as always. Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, Shak-Ti, Aayla Secura, Kit Fisto, Saisitian, Again Kolar, Stas Ali, and others complete the circle. A place of pure force, Yoda muses after their initial report. Spoken of in legends, Mortis is. Few Jedi ever found it. Fewer returned. We encountered 3 beings, Obi-Wan explains. The father, who represented balance, the daughter, embodying the light side, and the son, who embodied darkness. They tested us, particularly Anakin. All eyes turned to him. Anakin keeps his face neutral, his shields tight. He cannot let them sense what sits in his mind. Tested how? Mace Windu's voice carries suspicion. He's never trusted Anakin, never fully accepted the prophecy of the Chosen One. In the vision, Mace led the mission to arrest Palpatine. Anakin betrayed him, cut off his hand, let Palpatine kill him. The memory is visceral. Mace's face, the purple lightsaber falling, the window shattering as Palpatine's lightning threw him into the coruscant night. The sun showed me visions, possible futures. Dark paths I could take. Dangerous such visions are, Yoda warns. The dark side clouds much, show what could be, it does. Not what will be. I understand, Master Yoda. The visions were disturbing, but I'm aware they were just possibilities. Lies. They weren't possibilities. They were certainties. The sun didn't show him what might happen if he made wrong choices. The sun showed him what will happen, what Palpatine has already planned, what the inhibitor chips will force, what Anakin's fear of loss will drive him toward. Ki-Adi-Mundi's elongated head tilts. You seem altered, Skywalker. There is a weight to you that wasn't there before. A shadow. The observation lands like an accusation. Several council members lean forward, their force senses probing. Anakin reinforces his shields, but carefully. Too much resistance looks suspicious. Too little exposes the storm inside. Mortis affected me deeply, Anakin admits. This much is true. The realm exists outside normal space and time. The force there was overwhelming. I'm still processing the experience. Process it with meditation, Mace instructs. And with your former master. Obi-Wan, monitor him closely. If these visions have planted seeds of darkness, we need to address them immediately. Of course, Master Windu, Obi-Wan agrees. He looks at Anakin with concern, not suspicion. Anakin and I will meditate together. We'll work through whatever Mortis stirred up. The council dismisses them. As the hologram fades, Anakin feels the weight of their attention lingering. They sense something wrong. They just can't identify what. Good. Let them sense it. Let them investigate. They won't find anything concrete. Visions are personal, contained within his own mind. Unless he chooses to share them, which he won't, the council can suspect all they want without proof. Ahsoka and the lie, Ahsoka, catches up to him in the corridor outside the communications center. Her leku sway as she walks, her young face set with determination. Master, what really happened on Mortis, with the sun? Anakin stops. He could lie. Should lie. But Ahsoka deserves better than lies. She's been his Padawan for over a year, fought beside him in dozens of battles, saved his life more times than he can count. She's earned his honesty. But not all of it. The sun tried to turn me. He showed me a vision of my future. A dark future where I fall to the dark side and cause terrible suffering. Ahsoka's eyes widen. Master, that's not going to happen. You're one of the best Jedi I know. You'd never fall. Her certainty is heartbreaking. She has absolute faith in him. In the vision, he betrayed that faith. Led the 500 first to destroy the temple while she was away. She returned to find her home burning, her fellow Jedi dead, and her master transformed into a monster. Snips, I need you to promise me something. Anything. If I ever start to change. If you ever see me doing things that seem wrong, that go against what the Jedi stand for. I need you to stop me, no matter what it takes. She looks confused. Master, that's not going to... Promise me, Ahsoka? The intensity in his voice makes her step back. After a moment, she nods. I promise. But you're worrying over nothing. You're not going to fall. The vision was just the sun trying to manipulate you. He places a hand on her shoulder. His flesh and blood left hand, not the prosthetic. The touch is gentle, human, an anchor to the light. Stay close to me. I'm going to need you in the days ahead. I'm always close, Master. You're stuck with me. She grins, trying to lighten the mood. Anakin manages a smile, though it doesn't reach his eyes. Ahsoka notices but doesn't press. She's learned when to push and when to give space. After she leaves, Anakin stands alone in the corridor. Clone troopers pass by offering salutes. He absently returns. His mind races through the vision's details, cataloging every moment. One truth crystallizes with terrible clarity. Palpatine must be stopped, not exposed, not arrested, killed. The council won't act on suspicions alone. They'll want evidence, trials, due process. By the time they gather enough proof, it will be too late. Palpatine will activate Order 66. The Jedi will be slaughtered. The Republic will become the Empire. Unless Anakin acts first. All logistics. How he leaves Anakin doesn't simply vanish. He uses what he has. Rank, access, and the cover of routine operations. That night, ship time, he files a maintenance request for his personal starfighter, routine procedure after unusual missions. The ETA 2-Actis interceptor assigned to him needs diagnostic checks after the spatial anomaly of Mortis potentially disrupted its systems. The request goes to Chief Petty Officer Division, a human technician who's worked with Anakin for months. Division owes him. Anakin pulled strings to get the man's brother transferred to a safer posting after he was wounded on Christophasis. General Skywalker wants to personally oversee the diagnostics, Davijan tells the hangar crew chief. Says he doesn't trust anyone else with his fighter after what happened at Mortis. The crew chief shrugs. Jedi are particular about their equipment, especially pilot Jedi like Skywalker, who treats his starfighter like an extension of himself. Anakin boards the fighter alone, sealing the cockpit. R2-D2, his astromech, is already in the socket, chirping questions. Quiet, R2. We're doing diagnostic checks. Everything's fine. The little droid whistles skeptically. R2 has been with Anakin for years, since before the Clone Wars even started. He knows when something's off. Anakin powers up the systems, running through pre-flight checks. The fighter's hyperdrive is functional, weapons systems nominal. life support optimal, everything he needs. He accesses the flight control network, using his command codes. As a Jedi General, he has authorization to file emergency flight plans without going through standard channels. It's meant for urgent combat situations, but the system doesn't distinguish intent, it just checks clearance codes. Anakin files a patrol vector along the Corellian Run, a major hyperspace route toward the core worlds. The route passes near Coruscant. Close enough, he activates his personal comm encrypted channel. The recipient is Dinel Moonrunner, a dock supervisor on Coruscant who he helped years ago during the Battle of Geonosis. Moonrunner's son was trapped in a damaged transport. Anakin pulled him out personally, saving the boy's life. Moonrunner, it's Skywalker. I need a favor. Landing clearance at Bay 327, Senate District. Quiet. No manifest logs for 6 hours. General? Moonrunner's voice crackles through. That's highly irregular. I know, but I need this. Personal business. 6 hours, then you can log my arrival. I'll be gone by then. Silence. Then, my boy would be dead without you. 6 hours. Bay 327. But General, if this comes back on me, it won't. I promise. The plan is tight. Not foolproof, but functional. He'll be on Coruscant and back before anyone notices. And if they do notice, he's a Jedi General with authorization to travel for urgent matters. He'll claim intelligence gathering, a personal contact, something plausible. Before he launches, Anakin pauses. He reaches out with the Force, seeking Palpatine's presence across the light years. He finds it easily, warm, grandfatherly. The man who's been his friend and mentor for over a decade. The man who will corrupt him, turn him, use his love for Padme as a weapon to forge Darth Vader. The man who must die. Anakin's prosthetic hand grips the flight controls. His flesh hand rests on the activation switch. In his mind, the vision plays again. The mask sealing over his burned face. The respirator breathing for lungs that no longer work. Padme's death. The Empire rising. Luke fighting the monster his father became. This time, he whispers to the empty cockpit, I end it. R2-D2 beeps a question. Why the strange behavior? Where are they really going? Coruscant, R2, we have an appointment with the Chancellor. The astromech's response is dubious, warbling concern. Anakin ignores it. He triggers the launch sequence. The Resolute's hangar bay doors open. His fighter rises on repulsor lifts, banks toward the opening, and shoots into space. Behind him, alarms sound as the duty officer realizes a fighter launched without proper clearance. But by the time they track it, Anakin is already calculating hyperspace coordinates. Stars stretch into lines. The Eta, 2 jumps. Hyperspace swallows him. The journey hyperspace is a tunnel of swirling blue-white light, infinite and claustrophobic at once. The fighter's cockpit is silent, except for R2's occasional beeps and the hum of the engines. Anakin sits alone with his thoughts, and his thoughts are screaming. He's about to kill the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, the elected leader of 1,000 star systems, a man who, to the galaxy at large, is a hero, the politician who held the Republic together through the Separatist crisis, who gave the Jedi command of the clone armies, who trusted Anakin and treated him like a son, a man who is secretly Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith, orchestrator of a war designed to destroy the Jedi and transform democracy into dictatorship. The evidence is in Anakin's memories, memories of a future that hasn't happened yet, memories implanted by the son of Mortis through a vision that the father tried and failed to erase. The Council would call those memories unreliable. Visions of the future are clouded, uncertain, subject to interpretation. The dark side lies. The son could have fabricated everything to manipulate Anakin. But Anakin knows, with the certainty that comes from living those moments, that the vision was true. He remembers being Vader. Remembers the hate, the pain, the emptiness. Remembers serving Palpatine for 23 years, hunting Jedi, crushing rebellions, enforcing the Empire's will through terror. You can't fake that kind of memory. You can't fabricate the feeling of breathing through a respirator, of constant pain from burned nerve endings, of looking at your son through red-tinted lenses and knowing you should feel love but feeling only rage. The vision was true, which means Palpatine is Sidious, which means the Republic is doomed unless Anakin acts. But murder is the dark side's path. Killing an unarmed man, even a Sith Lord in disguise, violates everything the Jedi stand for: justice, due process, respect for life. These are the principles that separate Jedi from Sith. Yet those principles will doom the Order if Anakin follows them. Palpatine is too careful, too skilled at manipulation. By the time the Council gathers proof, by the time they move to arrest him, he'll activate Order 66. Thousands of Jedi will die. The Republic will fall. Anakin's prosthetic hand clenches on the control yoke. The servos whir softly. This hand has already taken lives. Separatist soldiers, battle droids, enemy commanders. One more death. One more kill to prevent millions. One murder to save the galaxy. R2-D2 beeps urgently, breaking his spiral. The astromech displays a message on the fighter's screen. Incoming transmission from the Resolute. Anakin curses. They noticed faster than expected. He checks the chrono. 20 minutes since he launched. Someone must have reported the unauthorized departure immediately. He considers ignoring the transmission, but that would confirm guilt, raise more alarms. Better to answer, deflect, buy time. He accepts the come. Obi-Wan's voice crackles through. Anakin, what are you doing? Why did you leave the Resolute without clearance? I needed to follow up on something. Intelligence related to Mortis? What intelligence? Obi-Wan's tone is patient but firm. The voice of a former master who knows when his student is hiding something. Anakin, talk to me. Where are you going? Coruscant, there's someone I need to see. Someone who might have information about what we encountered. Who? Anakin hesitates. Lies come easier now, smoothed by the weight of terrible knowledge. A contact in the Senate. Someone who studies force phenomena. I think they can help me understand what the sun showed me. Then let me come with you. We can investigate together. No. This is something I need to do alone. Silence on the other end. Then, Anakin, you're worrying me. The Council sensed darkness in you. Now you're running off without authorization, refusing my help. What did the sun show you? What are you planning? Nothing you need to worry about. I'll be back in a few hours. I promise. Anakin, he cuts the transmission. R2 whistles disapproval, his dome swiveling to fix Anakin with what would be a reproachful stare if droids had eyes. I know, R2, but I don't have a choice. The droid's response is scathing, a series of beeps that translate roughly to, you always have a choice, and this one is stupid. Thank you for your input. Now be quiet and let me think. The stars stream past. Coruscant grows closer with every parsec, and in his mind Anakin sees Palpatine's face, friendly, concerned, the face of a man who cares, the mask hiding a monster. Soon, that mask will come off. One way or another, the truth will be revealed. The arrival Coruscant emerges from hyperspace like a jewel, its entire surface covered in city. 1 trillion beings living on one planet, the capital of the Republic, the heart of galactic civilization. And beneath its gleaming surface, corruption and darkness festering. Anakin flies toward the Senate district, his fighters transponder broadcasting clearance codes. Senate security barely glances at his approach. Jedi generals come and go constantly, often on urgent business. Landing in Bay 327 draws no special attention. The bay is quiet, late in Coruscant's artificial night cycle. Only a few maintenance droids and Moonrunner himself, the dock supervisor, waiting as promised. General Skywalker. Moonrunner is a Duros, his blue skin reflecting the landing lights. Bay's yours. 6 hours. But sir, I have to ask, is this legal? It's necessary. That's all you need to know. Anakin climbs out of the cockpit. R2-D2 disengages from the fighter and rolls down the ramp, beeping nervous questions. Where are they going? What is the plan? Does Anakin have any idea what he's doing? Stay with the ship, R2. I won't be long. The droid's protests follow him as he strides toward the exit, his Jedi robes billowing. He checks his lightsaber, still clipped to his belt, the familiar weight reassuring. The weapon he's carried since becoming a Padawan. The weapon he used in dozens of battles. The weapon he'll use to kill Chancellor Palpatine. The Senate district at night is quieter than during the day, but never truly empty. Airspeeders zip between buildings, platforms glow with lights, beings of 1,000 species walk the streets. Anakin pulls his hood up, anonymous in the shadows. The Chancellor's apartment is in 500 Republica, an exclusive building reserved for senators and high officials. Anakin has been there dozens of times over the years, invited for private conversations, mentorship sessions, moments when Palpatine treated him as more than a Jedi, as a friend, almost a son, all calculated, all manipulation. Security at 500 Republica recognizes him immediately. General Skywalker, we weren't informed you'd be visiting. Last-minute decision. I need to speak with Chancellor Palpatine. It's urgent. The guard checks his datapad. The Chancellor is in his apartment. I'll notify him you're here. Don't. I'll announce myself. This is a surprise. The guard looks uncertain but doesn't argue with the Jedi General. Anakin takes the turbo lift to the upper levels, his heart pounding. His prosthetic hand clenches and unclenches. His flesh hand hovers near his lightsaber. One quick strike. Ignite the blade, drive it through Palpatine's chest before the Sith Lord can react. Then leave. Let the body be discovered. Let the Republic mourn their Chancellor without ever knowing he was a monster. The turbo lift doors open. Anakin steps into the corridor leading to Palpatine's apartment. The hallway is empty, quiet. He reaches out with the Force, sensing the presence ahead. Palpatine is there, alone, unguarded, the perfect opportunity. Anakin walks forward, each step measured. His breathing steadies, his mind clears. He's killed before. He's taken lives in battle, struck down enemies, made the hard choices that war demands. This is just another hard choice. Another necessary death to prevent greater evil. He reaches the door. It opens at his approach. Unlocked, as always for visitors Palpatine trusts. Inside, the apartment is dimly lit, luxuriously appointed. Art from 1,000 worlds, furniture worth more than a starship. The trappings of power and wealth. And in the center, standing by the window overlooking Coruscant's glittering expanse, Chancellor Palpatine turns. Anakin, what a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting you. The smile is genuine, warm, friendly. The face of a man who cares, who's always cared, who welcomed a young slave from Tatooine into the halls of power and treated him as an equal when the Jedi Council treated him with suspicion. All lies, all masks. Chancellor, Anakin says, his voice steady. We need to talk. The confrontation, Palpatine's smile doesn't waver. Of course, my boy. You know you're always welcome here. Please sit. Can I offer you something to drink? Anakin doesn't move from the doorway. His hand hovers near his lightsaber, hidden beneath his robes. I'll stand. As you wish. Palpatine turns back to the window, hands clasped behind his back. You seem troubled, more so than usual. Did something happen on your mission? I heard you disappeared for 3 days. The Council was quite concerned. We encountered something. A place called Mortis. Mortis? Palpatine's tone is curious, nothing more. I'm not familiar with it. A realm outside normal space, where the Force exists in physical form. We met beings there, the Father, the Daughter, and the Son, embodiments of balance, light, and darkness. How fascinating. What did these beings want? To test me, the Son in particular. Anakin takes a step forward, his prosthetic hand flexes. He showed me visions, the future, what I would become if I made certain choices. Palpatine turns now, his expression shifting to concern. Visions of the future? Anakin, you know how unreliable such things are. The dark side clouds everything. What you saw was true. Anakin's voice cuts like a blade. I know it was true. I felt it. Lived it. The Son didn't show me possibilities. He showed me certainties. What will happen if I don't change the path I'm on? What did you see? The question is gentle, probing. Palpatine moves toward him, every gesture radiating care and concern. The grandfather figure who's guided Anakin for over a decade. The mentor who believed in him when others doubted. The Sith Lord who will corrupt him. I saw myself fall to the dark side, become a Sith Lord named Darth Vader. I saw the Jedi Order destroyed. The Republic transformed into an empire, and I saw who orchestrated it all. Palpatine stops. For just a moment, a fraction of a second, his mask slips. Anakin sees it with Force-enhanced perception. The flicker of calculation, the brief flash of yellow in those grandfatherly eyes, the Predator assessing whether its cover is blown. Then, the mask returns, seamless. Ooh, you know who. Darth Sidious. The Sith Lord we've been hunting for 2 years. The one pulling strings on both sides of the war. Anakin's hand closes on his lightsaber hilt. You. Silence. The kind that presses against your eardrums, that makes the air feel thick. Palpatine doesn't move, doesn't deny, doesn't confirm. He simply stands, watching Anakin with those politicians' eyes that have fooled the entire Republic. That's quite an accusation, Palpatine says finally. His voice remains calm, measured. Based on a vision. A dark side vision, no less. Anakin, think about what you're saying. I've been your friend, your supporter. I've stood by you when the Council doubted you. And now you come here, in the middle of the night, hand on your lightsaber, accusing me of being a Sith? I'm not accusing, I'm stating fact. Fact, Palpatine spreads his hands, the gesture open and innocent. Where's your evidence? What proof do you have beyond a vision that could easily be a dark side trick designed to turn you against your allies? It's a good argument. Logical, reasonable, the kind of argument that would sway the Council, make them hesitate, demand more evidence before acting. Palpatine has spent decades constructing his cover, making himself indispensable, building relationships that would make any accusation seem absurd. But Anakin has something the Council doesn't. Certainty born from lived experience. He remembers being Vader, remembers kneeling before this man, calling him master, serving him for over 2 decades. You can't fake those memories. You can't fabricate the feeling of breathing through a respirator while your master explains his latest atrocity. I don't need evidence. I know what you are. And what am I, Anakin? Palpatine's voice drops, becomes harder. The grandfatherly warmth fades. Tell me, what do you think you know? You're Darth Sidious. You created the Clone Wars. You control Count Dooku. You've been manipulating both sides, accumulating power, positioning yourself to destroy the Jedi and transform the Republic into your empire. And you've been grooming me, specifically me, to become your apprentice. Palpatine studies him for a long moment. Then, slowly, he smiles. Not the warm smile of Chancellor Palpatine. Something colder, sharper. The sun showed you all of that? He showed me everything. My fall. Padme's death, Order 66. The Empire, the Death Star. My son Luke redeeming me at the end. Everything. Your son, Palpatine's eyebrows rise. You and Senator Amidala have been busy, I see. Though the child hasn't been born yet in this timeline, has he? Interesting. The son showed you a very complete future. The admission lands like a physical blow. Palpatine just confirmed it. Confirmed he's Sidious. Confirmed he knows about the marriage Anakin has kept secret from everyone but a handful of people. You're not denying it. Why would I? Palpatine moves to a chair and sits, completely relaxed. You came here to kill me, Anakin. I can sense it. You've already decided I'm guilty. Whether I deny or confirm makes no difference to your intent. So let's dispense with the pretense. Yes, I'm Darth Sidious. Yes, I've orchestrated the Clone Wars. Yes, I planned to make you my apprentice. The real question is, are you actually going to go through with this? Are you prepared to murder the Supreme Chancellor in his own apartment, based on memories of a future that hasn't happened yet? Anakin's hand tightens on his lightsaber. One quick draw, one ignition, one thrust. End it now before Palpatine can defend himself or call for help. But something stops him. Not mercy, not doubt about Palpatine's guilt, something else. Why did you choose me? Of all the Jedi, why groom me specifically? Palpatine leans back, steepling his fingers. Because you're the chosen one. The prophecy speaks of one who will bring balance to the Force. I needed that power, that potential. You were to be my greatest creation, Anakin, stronger than any Sith Lord in 1,000 years. The perfect apprentice. And Padme? You were going to use her against me. My fear of losing her, that's how you planned to turn me. Very perceptive. Yes, her death, or the threat of it, would have been the catalyst. Your attachments are your weakness, Anakin. The Jedi Council knows it. They've always known it. That's why they've never trusted you. You feel too deeply, love too completely, and that love can be weaponized. So you admit it? You're Sidious. You orchestrated everything. I admit nothing to anyone but you, and you won't be reporting this conversation to the Council because you came here to murder me, not arrest me. You know the Council wouldn't act on your visions alone. You know they'd demand evidence, trials, due process. By the time they finished deliberating, I'd activate Order 66 and the Jedi would be destroyed. So you came here to do what Jedi do, make the hard choice alone. Palpatine stands, moving toward Anakin with slow, measured steps. But here's what you haven't considered. If you kill me now, you prove me right. You prove that Jedi are hypocrites who preach justice while committing murder. You prove that your attachments make you dangerous. And you prove that the dark side was always in you, waiting for the right excuse to emerge. Killing you isn't the dark side, it's preventing catastrophe. Is it? Or is it simply revenge? I haven't actually done anything yet in this timeline. The Clone Wars are ongoing, yes, but they started at Geonosis, before I could have prevented them even if I wanted to. Order 66 hasn't been activated. The Jedi Temple still stands. The Republic is intact. You want to kill me for crimes I haven't yet committed, based on memories from a future that hasn't happened. That's not justice. That's murder based on paranoia. The argument worms into Anakin's mind, finding purchase. Palpatine hasn't activated Order 66 yet, hasn't turned Anakin yet, hasn't killed Padme yet. In this moment, in this timeline, he's just a politician with secret Sith powers who has done terrible things but nothing that directly justifies execution. No, that's wrong. Palpatine created the Clone Wars. Orchestrated both sides. Thousands of Jedi have died already. Millions of clone troopers and civilians. The war itself is Palpatine's crime, and the evidence is in Anakin's memories. But those memories aren't proof anyone else can verify. You're trying to manipulate me. Even now, make me doubt myself. I'm trying to make you think, if you kill me based solely on visions, you set a terrifying precedent. Any Jedi could claim visions justify murder. The Council would have to expel you at minimum, possibly execute you. And I'd still win, because the Jedi would tear themselves apart debating whether your actions were justified. The Republic would lose faith in the Order. The war would continue without my guidance, spiraling into chaos. You'd trade one disaster for another. Anakin's prosthetic hand trembles. He wants to ignite his lightsaber, end this conversation, end Palpatine. But the Sith Lord's words are poison, spreading doubt and confusion. There's another option, Palpatine says softly. Let me live. Monitor me. Use your knowledge of the future to prevent the events you saw. You know my plans now. You can counter them. Warn the Jedi about Order 66 without revealing the source. Remove the inhibitor chips from the clones. Protect Padme. And when I make my move, when I finally reveal myself to the Council, you'll have actual proof. You can arrest me legally, try me, execute me through proper channels. Your conscience stays clean, the Republic stays intact. Everyone wins, except you still win too. You get to live. Continue your plans. Adapt to what I know, perhaps. But Anakin, consider this. If you kill me now, you become the monster you feared becoming. You take a life in cold blood, based on visions. How is that different from what Vader would do? How is that different from the Sith? The question hits hard. In the vision, Vader killed without hesitation. Murdered Jedi, slaughtered younglings, choked officers who disappointed him. Killing Palpatine now, unarmed and defenseless, feels uncomfortably similar, but it's not the same. Palpatine is evil, a Sith Lord, a mass murderer who will cause untold suffering if allowed to live. Killing him is prevention, not murder. Isn't it? You're hesitating, Palpatine observes. The Anakin who truly believed I deserved death would have struck already. But you can't, because you're not a murderer. You're a Jedi, and Jedi don't kill unarmed men, even Sith Lords, without proof and due process. Anakin's hand releases the lightsaber hilt, not because Palpatine convinced him, because he realizes killing Palpatine solves nothing. The inhibitor chips still exist in every clone's brain. The separatist war machine still operates, and without Palpatine, there's no one to testify about the conspiracy. No way to prove to the Council that the threat is real. He needs Palpatine alive. For now. I'm not going to kill you tonight, Anakin says slowly, but I am going to stop you. Everything you planned, Order 66, the Empire, turning me, it's not going to happen. I'll make sure of it. Ambitious. But Anakin, you forget I've been planning this for decades. You have memories of one possible future. I have decades of preparation, resources, and contingencies. You can't stop me alone. Then I won't be alone. I'll find allies. Warn the people I trust. Build a network to counter yours. And when you do, I'll activate Order 66 immediately rather than wait. You'll force my hand. The Jedi will die anyway, just sooner. Is that really what you want? The trap closes around Anakin. If he acts openly, Palpatine activates Order 66 early. If he does nothing, the plan proceeds as in the vision. The only path forward is a tightrope. Act covertly, gather evidence, prepare defenses, all while pretending nothing has changed. I'm leaving, Anakin says. But I'm watching you, every move, every decision. I know what you're planning. I know when you're planning to act. And I'll be ready. I'm counting on it. Palpatine's smile returns, warm and grandfatherly. You know, Anakin, this could have gone very differently. You could have embraced what the sun showed you. Accepted your destiny as Darth Vader, joined me willingly, right now, and we could have ruled the galaxy together, father and son. Why didn't you? Because I saw what that path costs. Padme's life, my humanity, millions of deaths. I won't pay that price. Everyone pays a price, Anakin. You're just choosing a different one. Time will tell which of us chose wisely. Anakin turns and walks toward the door. As he reaches it, Palpatine's voice follows him. Give my regards to Senator Amidala. Tell her to take care of herself. These are dangerous times. The threat is subtle, but unmistakable. Anakin stops, his hand on the doorframe. If you touch her, I won't. Not unless you force my hand. But Anakin, remember, the future you saw happened because of your fear of losing her. If you truly want to prevent that future, perhaps you should examine that fear. Attachment leads to the dark side after all. The Jedi Council has been telling you that for years. Anakin leaves without responding. The door closes behind him. He stands in the hallway breathing hard, his prosthetic hand shaking with suppressed rage. He came here to kill Palpatine, to end the threat before it could manifest. Instead, he's walking away, having accomplished nothing except confirming what he already knew and revealing his knowledge to the enemy. Failure, complete failure. The return R2-D2's greeting when Anakin returns to Bay 327 is equal parts relief and recrimination. The astromech beeps a series of complaints. Anakin was gone for over an hour. Communication was cut off. What happened? Why does he look like that? Not now, R2. We're leaving. The flight back to the Resolute is a blur. Anakin flies on autopilot, his mind replaying the conversation. Every word, every implication, every threat. Palpatine knows. Knows that Anakin knows. And worse, Palpatine is right about the impossible position this creates. Act 2 openly, trigger, Order 66 early, do nothing, let events unfold as in the vision. The only path is infiltration and preparation, and even that might not be enough. When the Eta 2 docks with the Resolute, Obi-Wan is waiting in the hangar. His face is stern, the expression of a disappointed master rather than an angry colleague. Anakin, we need to talk. Now. They walk to Obi-Wan's quarters in silence. Once inside, Obi-Wan activates privacy screens and turns to face him. What were you thinking? Leaving without authorization, cutting off communication, flying to Coruscant in the middle of the night. Anakin, the Council is concerned you're becoming unstable. I had to follow up on the vision for Mortis. By visiting someone on Coruscant? Who? Anakin considers lying. But Obi-Wan has been his master, his mentor, his friend for over a decade. If anyone deserves the truth, it's him. Chancellor Palpatine. Obi-Wan's expression shifts from stern to confused. Palpatine? Why would you? He stops. The vision. What did the sun show you about the Chancellor? This is the moment. Anakin can continue hiding the truth, or he can trust Obi-Wan with knowledge that could doom them both. The Council won't believe it, but maybe Obi-Wan will. The sun showed me that Palpatine is Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord orchestrating the Clone Wars. And he showed me that Palpatine plans to destroy the Jedi Order through something called Order 66, a programmed command that will make all the clone troopers turn on their Jedi generals and kill them. Silence. Obi-Wan stares at him, processing. Anakin watches emotions flicker across his former master's face. Disbelief, consideration, concern, skepticism. That's quite a claim. Palpatine has been a friend to the Jedi. A supporter. Why would he? Because he's playing a long game. Using us. He created both sides of this war. Controls Dooku. Everything we're fighting for is part of his plan to accumulate power and position himself to seize control of the galaxy. And your evidence is a vision. from the son of Mortis, a being of the dark side who tried to turn you. It's more than a vision, I remember it. I lived it. The sun showed me my entire future, 23 years of serving Palpatine as Darth Vader. I remember the mask, the respirator, hunting Jedi, serving the Empire. I remember all of it. Obi-Wan sits slowly, his hand stroking his beard, a gesture he makes when deeply troubled. Even if I believe these memories are real, Anakin, we can't arrest the Supreme Chancellor based on them. The Council would demand proof. The Senate would revolt. We need evidence. I know. That's why I went to see him. To confirm it. You confronted Palpatine? Alone? Anakin, if he really is a Sith Lord, that was incredibly dangerous. He could have killed you. He didn't. He admitted it. Confirmed he's Sidious. Confirmed his plans. And threatened Padme. Obi-Wan's eyes widen. He knows about your marriage? He's always known. He knows everything. And now he knows that I know. Master, we're in a trap. If I act openly, he activates Order 66 immediately. If I do nothing, he proceeds with his plan. The only path forward is to act covertly while appearing to do nothing. Then that's what we do. But Anakin, you can't do this alone. You need help. The Council won't believe me. You barely believe me, and you're my closest friend. The Council will demand evidence we can't provide. They'll want trials, investigations, all of which will tip off Palpatine and force his hand. No, we handle this quietly. Just us and people we absolutely trust. Ahsoka? Eventually. Right now she thinks I'm just dealing with disturbing visions. Let her keep thinking that until we have a plan. Obi-Wan studies him for a long moment. I want to see these memories. Through a force bond, show me what the sun showed you. It's a reasonable request. Force bonds allow Jedi to share experiences, memories, even thoughts. If Anakin shows Obi-Wan the vision, his former master can judge its authenticity for himself. But it's also dangerous. The memories of being Vader are dark, twisted, full of rage and hate. Sharing them means exposing Obi-Wan to the worst parts of what Anakin could become. All right, Anakin agrees. But Master, be warned. What I'm about to show you is disturbing. Some of it involves you. Show me. They sit facing each other. Anakin opens his shields, letting the Force flow between them, and then he shares the memories. Mustafar. The duel. Obi-Wan's face as he realizes his former Padawan has fallen. The high ground, the burning, the hatred in Vader's eyes as he screams, "I hate you!" Obi-Wan gasps, jerking back. His face is pale, sweat beading on his forehead. Force, Anakin. That's what happens if I fall. That's what Palpatine wants to make me into. And I left you burning, left you to die, because I tried to kill you, because I chose the dark side over everything else. Master, I don't blame you for what happens in that vision. I blame the man who manipulates me into becoming that monster. Obi-Wan takes a shaky breath. Order 66. You mentioned clones turning on their Jedi. Show me. Anakin shares more. Flashes from across the galaxy. Jedi gunned down by their own troops. The temple burning. Younglings murdered. The systematic destruction of an order 10,000 years old. When it ends, Obi-Wan looks sick. If that's real, if even half of it is real, it's all real. Every moment. Then we're facing an existential threat. Not just to the Jedi, but to everything the Republic stands for. Anakin, we need to act. But carefully. Very carefully. Palpatine is more dangerous than any Sith we've faced. I know. That's why I need your help. We need to identify which clones we can trust. Remove their inhibitor chips quietly. Build a network of Jedi who are warned without revealing the source. And we need evidence. Something that will let us arrest Palpatine legally when the time comes. How long do we have? In the vision, Order 66 happened about a year after Mortis. Maybe less. We need to move fast. Obi-Wan stands, pacing. The chips. You said they're in all the clones? How do we remove them without Palpatine noticing? Carefully. One at a time. Starting with clones we know are loyal. Rex, Cody, others we trust absolutely. We present it as a medical procedure. Treatment for neural degradation or something plausible. Slowly build a network of freed clones who can help when Order 66 is activated. And if Palpatine notices clones' chips disappearing, we make it look random. Spread the removals across different units. Make it seem like a manufacturing defect, not a pattern. It'll be slow. We won't save everyone, but we'll save some, enough to make a difference. Obi-Wan stops pacing, his decision made. All right. We do this. Together. But Anakin, you need to promise me something. What? Don't face Palpatine alone again. He's a Sith Lord. A manipulator. He'll try to turn you. If we're going to stop him, we do it as Jedi, with justice, evidence, and backup. Not as lone warriors seeking revenge. I promise. No more solo confrontations. Good. Now we need to bring in others. Not the whole council. Not yet. But Jedi we trust absolutely. Ahsoka, Yoda, maybe Mace? Mace won't believe without evidence. Then we get evidence. We investigate. And when we have enough, we act. The conversation with Rex. 2 days later, Anakin calls Captain Rex to his quarters. The clone enters and salutes, his blue-marked helmet under his arm. You wanted to see me, General? At ease, Rex. This is an unofficial conversation. I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly. Of course, sir. If you received an order to kill Jedi, would you follow it? Rex's face goes carefully neutral. Sir, that's a strange question. Who would give such an order? Hypothetically, if the order came from the highest authority, from someone you're trained to obey without question, would you kill Jedi? No, sir. The Jedi are our commanders, our allies. We fight beside them. I wouldn't raise a weapon against any Jedi, no matter who ordered it. Even if something in your brain forced you to, something that overrode your choice. Rex's expression shifts to concern. Sir, what are you getting at? Anakin takes a breath. This is it. The moment where he either gains an ally or loses a friend. Rex, there are inhibitor chips in your brain. In every clone's brain. Organic control devices placed there by the Kaminoans. When a specific order is given, Order 66, those chips will activate and force you to kill any Jedi near you. You won't have a choice. The chip will override your personality and make you obey. For a long moment, Rex doesn't respond. Then, that's impossible. We'd know if we had something in our brains. Would you? These chips were implanted before you were decanted. They're organic, integrated with your nervous system. You've never known life without them. Sir, with respect, this sounds like paranoia. Who told you about these chips? I saw it. In a vision, I saw the future, saw what happens when Order 66 is activated. Rex, I watched you and every other clone turn on your Jedi and murder them. I watched the Jedi Order fall because of these chips. Rex is silent, processing. Anakin can see the conflict on his face. Loyalty to the Republic warring with the horrifying implications. If these chips exist, Rex says slowly, if they can make us kill Jedi against our will, sir, that's not service. That's slavery. We're not soldiers. We're weapons. Programmed to betray everything we claim to fight for. Exactly. Which is why we're going to remove them. Not all at once. That would tip off whoever planted them. But quietly, carefully, starting with you and men we trust absolutely. Will you volunteer to have brain surgery based on a vision? Sir, that's a big ask. I know. But Rex, I need you. I need your leadership. When Order 66 is activated, and it will be activated, I need you to be free. To help me save as many Jedi as possible. To lead freed clones in protecting their generals instead of killing them. Rex meets his eyes. You really believe this is real? These chips? This Order 66? I know it's real. I've lived it, Rex. Please, trust me. After a long pause, Rex nods. All right, sir. I'll volunteer. But if this surgery kills me or turns me into a vegetable, I'm coming back as a Force ghost to haunt you. Anakin manages a smile. Deal. The first surgery, the medical bay on the Resolute, is sterile, cold, filled with the hum of diagnostic equipment. Captain Rex lies on the operating table, sedated but not unconscious. The procedure requires precision beyond what standard anesthesia allows. The patient needs to be aware enough for the surgeon to test neural responses during extraction. Kix, the 501st Chief Medical Officer, stands beside the table. He's one of 3 clones Anakin has read into the conspiracy so far. Rex, Kix, and Fives, the ARC trooper whose discovery of the chips in the original timeline led to his death. This time Fives knows about the chips before stumbling onto them accidentally. This time he's part of the solution from the beginning. General Skywalker, Kix says, his voice tight with nerves. I've reviewed the scans 3 times. I can see the chip. It's exactly where you said it would be, embedded near the pituitary gland, integrated with surrounding tissue. But sir, removing it. One wrong cut and I could kill him or cause permanent brain damage. You won't, Anakin says with more confidence than he feels. I've seen this done successfully. You have the skill, Kix. Trust yourself. Beside him, Obi-Wan observes through the transparent steel partition. They've told no one else about this procedure. Not even Ahsoka yet. The fewer people who know, the less chance of the information reaching Palpatine. Beginning incision, Kix announces. His hands are steady despite his fear. The surgical droid assists, holding instruments and monitoring vitals while Kix does the delicate work. Rex's eyes are open, unfocused. How much longer? His words slur slightly from the sedatives. Almost there, Captain, Kix responds. Just stay still. Talk to me. Tell me about Camino, your first memory. It's a technique to keep Rex conscious and responsive. As long as he can form coherent sentences, his brain function is intact. Flash training, Rex murmurs. Simulations. Learning to march, shoot, follow orders. Never questioned orders. Not until the Jedi came. Not until I met generals who treated us like men instead of equipment. Anakin watches the procedure with force-enhanced perception. He can sense the chip. A dark spot in Rex's force signature. Something artificial and wrong. As Kix's instruments probe deeper, that wrongness intensifies. I've located it, Kix says. It's connected to more neural pathways than I expected. Motor control. Emotional regulation. Recognition centers. This thing has hooks into half his brain. Can you remove it safely? I think so. But sir, if this chip is in every clone, removing them all would take years. Even with a team of surgeons working around the clock. Then we prioritize. Officers first. Commanders and captains who lead battalions. Clone pilots. Medics who can perform the surgery on others. We build a network. Understood. Beginning extraction. The process takes 3 hours. 3 hours of meticulous cutting, cauterizing, testing neural responses to ensure no permanent damage. Anakin stays the entire time, using the Force to monitor Rex's life signs and offer what healing he can. Finally, Kix holds up a tiny piece of organic technology, the chip, extracted intact. It's barely larger than a grain of rice, but the neural connections it maintained were extensive. It's out. Captain Rex, can you hear me? Rex blinks, his eyes focusing. I hear you, Kix. How do I feel different? Can you tell me your designation? CT-7567. Captain Rex? Commander of the 501st Legion. Served under General Skywalker since Christophsis. Fought at Teth, Ryloth, Malastare. He continues listing battles, his memory intact. Motor control? Kix tests Rex's hands, his legs, his facial expressions. Everything responds normally. Emotional state? I feel lighter, like a weight I didn't know I was carrying is gone. Is that normal? The chip was integrated with emotional regulation centers, Kix explains. You've spent your entire life with foreign programming influencing your thoughts. Now it's gone. Your emotions are purely your own. Rex sits up slowly, his hand going to the bandage on his head. The order. Order 66. If it had been activated before the surgery, you would have killed me, Anakin finishes. Without hesitation, without choice, the chip would have forced compliance. Sir, we need to tell the others. Every clone needs to know about this. We can't, not yet. If word spreads that we're removing chips, whoever planted them will activate Order 66 immediately. We have to move slowly, quietly. Rex, you're going to help me identify which clones we can trust. Men who'll volunteer for the procedure without asking too many questions. Men who can keep secrets. That's a tall order, sir. Clones aren't good at keeping secrets from each other. We're brothers. We share everything. Then we make them understand the stakes. If they talk, if word gets out, every Jedi in the galaxy dies. Can you convince them? Rex nods. I'll find men we can trust. Fives, obviously. Jesse. Hard case. Echo if we can find him. He was captured at the Citadel. Might still be alive. Cody for the 212th. Wolf for the 104th. Bly for the 327th. We start with commanders, work our way down. Good. Kix, can you perform this surgery on others? With practice, yes. But sir, I'll need help, other medics. We can't do this alone. Then train them. Quietly. One at a time. Build a network of medics who can operate across the Grand Army. Obi-Wan enters the medical bay, his face grave. It worked. The chip is out, Rex is alive and functional. Anakin, this proves your vision was accurate. If these chips are in every clone, then we have maybe 10 months to remove as many as possible before Palpatine activates the Order. Master, we need to expand this operation. Bring in other Jedi healers. Not tell them why, just that we're conducting experimental procedures to improve clone neural function. That's a thin cover story. It's all we have. The alternative is watching the Order die. Telling Ahsoka knows something is wrong. Her master has been distant, secretive, spending hours in closed-door meetings with Obi-Wan and Rex. She's tried to give him space. Mortis affected him deeply, she understands that. But the secrecy is starting to hurt. Anakin finds her in the training room, working through lightsaber forms with a practice droid. She moves with fluid grace, her twin lightsabers blurring through Jarkai sequences. She's good. Better than most Padawans her age. He's taught her well. Snips, we need to talk. She deactivates her lightsabers, breathing hard. Finally. Master, you've been avoiding me for days. What's going on? Not avoiding, protecting. But you're right. You deserve to know. Come with me. Somewhere private. They walk to his quarters, activate privacy screens. Ahsoka sits on the edge of his bunk, her montrals angled forward with concern. The vision from Mortis, Anakin begins. It showed me the future. Not a possible future. The future. What will happen if I don't change things? You told the Council it was just disturbing images, warnings. I lied. Ahsoka, what I saw was specific, detailed. I lived 23 years of that future in the space of minutes. I know exactly what happens, when it happens, and who causes it. She leans forward. Tell me. So he does. Not everything. He leaves out the worst parts about Vader, the personal details of his fall. But he tells her about Palpatine being Sidious, about Order 66, about the chips in the clones' brains, about the systematic destruction of the Jedi Order. And you, he says, his voice soft. In that future, you leave the Order about a year before it falls. You're framed for a crime you didn't commit. The Council expels you to stand trial in a Republic court. I eventually prove your innocence, but the damage is done. You walk away. And your departure is one of the things that pushes me toward falling. Ahsoka's face has gone pale. I would never leave. The Jedi Order is my home. You're my family. You do if you lose faith in the Council. If they betray you. Ahsoka, I'm telling you this because I need you to trust me. When things get difficult, and they will, I need you to know I'll always stand by you. The Council might fail you, but I won't. Master, this is a lot to process. Palpatine is a Sith Lord? The man who's been the Jedi's strongest supporter? It's been a cover. Everything he's done, supporting the Jedi, giving us command of the clone army, extending his emergency powers, it's all been manipulation, positioning himself to destroy us when the time is right. Then we need to tell the Council. Arrest him. Stop this before it starts. We can't. If we move openly, he activates Order 66 immediately. We need to act covertly. Remove chips from key clones, gather evidence, prepare defenses. And when the time comes, we strike decisively. Ahsoka stands, pacing. You're asking me to keep a massive secret from the Council, to help you operate behind their backs. Master, that's... I know, and I'm not ordering you. If you feel you need to tell the Council, I won't stop you. But Ahsoka, please, trust me. Trust that I know what I'm doing. She stops pacing, her blue eyes meeting his. Of course I trust you. You're my master. But this is bigger than us. This is the fate of the entire Order, which is exactly why we have to get it right. One mistake, one person talking to the wrong person, and thousands of Jedi die. Can you keep this secret? After a long moment, she nods. I can. But Master, you need to promise me something in return. What? Don't shut me out. Don't try to protect me by keeping me in the dark. If we're doing this, we do it together. Equals, not Master and Padawan. Anakin smiles. Equals, I promise. The slow build over the following weeks, The conspiracy spreads quietly. Rex identifies trustworthy clones across multiple legions. Kix trains 3 other clone medics in the chip removal procedure. Obi-Wan brings in Jedi healers under the guise of experimental neural enhancement surgery. By the end of the first month, 47 clones have been freed. It's not enough, not nearly enough against 3 million. But it's a start. Anakin maintains his routine, leads battles, attends strategy meetings, visits Padme when he can slip away to Coruscant. To outside observers, nothing has changed, but inside, he's constantly monitoring Palpatine through the Force, watching for any sign the Sith Lord suspects, waiting for the moment when Palpatine makes his move. That moment comes sooner than expected. The trap Anakin receives a priority transmission from Chancellor Palpatine. "I need to see you immediately. Come to my office, alone." It's urgent regarding the war effort. The summons is unusual. Palpatine typically communicates through normal channels, not priority override codes. Something has changed. Obi-Wan pulls him aside before he leaves the Resolute. This could be a trap. He might have discovered what we're doing. Or he might have legitimate war business. Either way, I need to go. If I refuse, that confirms his suspicions. Then take backup. Ahsoka and I will follow at a distance. Stay in contact. At the first sign of trouble, we come in. Agreed. The flight to Coruscant is tense. Anakin cycles through possibilities. Has Palpatine noticed clones' chips disappearing? Has someone talked? Is this the moment when the Sith Lord reveals his true power? Or is Anakin being paranoid, seeing threats where none exist? He lands at the Senate landing platform, leaves R2-D2 with the fighter, and makes his way to Palpatine's office. Senate guards stand at their posts, professional and alert. Everything appears normal. Palpatine's office is as it was before, luxurious, filled with art, the view of Coruscant spectacular through floor-to-ceiling windows. The Chancellor stands by those windows, hands clasped behind his back. "Anakin, thank you for coming so quickly. You said it was urgent, Chancellor." "It is. Please sit." Palpatine gestures to a chair. Anakin remains standing, his hand near his lightsaber. Palpatine notices and smiles. "Still cautious. Good. Caution will serve you well in what's coming." "What's coming?" "The endgame." "Anakin, I've been monitoring clone casualty reports. Specifically, clones who died from head injuries or underwent neural surgery. There's been an uptick in such cases over the past month. 47 clones across multiple legions, all treated for various neurological conditions." Anakin's heart drops. Palpatine knows. He's been tracking the chip removals. "I don't see how clone medical procedures concern you, Chancellor." "They concern me when those procedures involve removing something very specific, something I placed in those clones for a very specific purpose." Palpatine turns from the window, his eyes cold. "You've been busy, Anakin. Removing inhibitor chips. Freeing clones from my programming. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? We've been careful. Careful isn't good enough. I have monitoring systems. Fail-safes. When chips start disappearing, alarms go off. Not literal alarms. Subtle indicators that only I know to watch for. You've freed 47 clones. I know the identity of every single one. Captain Rex. CT 6116. Shall I continue? Why haven't you activated Order 66 already? If you know what we're doing, why let us continue? Because I'm curious. You've changed the game, Anakin. Instead of slowly grooming you to become my apprentice, you've forced my hand. You know my identity. You're actively working against me. And yet, I'm giving you a choice. Join me now, willingly, or watch everyone you love die. That's not a choice. That's a threat. It's reality. Anakin, you can't stop me. Even if you've freed 100 clones, 1,000, I still control millions. Order 66 will still succeed. The Jedi will still fall. The only variable is whether you survive it. Whether Padme survives it. Whether your unborn children survive it. Padme isn't pregnant. Not yet. But she will be. Soon. The Force shows me possible futures too, Anakin. I've seen your children, a boy and a girl. Powerful in the Force. They could be raised as Sith, trained by you and me. Or they could die with their mother when I bring the full weight of the Republic down on the Jedi. Anakin's prosthetic hand clenches. You're bluffing. You need me, the Chosen One. You can't afford to kill me, can't I? Anakin, you're powerful, potentially the most powerful Force user in the galaxy. But you're not irreplaceable. If you won't serve me, I'll find another apprentice. Count Dooku served adequately for years. I can train someone else. What I can't allow is you actively opposing me. So what do you want? Stop removing chips. Stop warning Jedi. Stop plotting against me. In exchange, I delay Order 66. Give you more time with Padme. Let you enjoy a few more months of peace before the inevitable. And then you kill us anyway. Some deal. Or you join me, and no one has to die. Anakin, I'm offering you power. Knowledge. The ability to save Padme from the death you saw in your vision. You know she dies in childbirth in the timeline the sun showed you. I can prevent that. Teach you to use the Force to preserve life. Isn't that worth considering? The old temptation. The fear of losing Padme. Palpatine weaponizing Anakin's love like he did in the original timeline. But this time, Anakin knows it's a lie. Palpatine doesn't want to save Padme. He wants to use her death as leverage. And even if he could save her, the price would be Anakin's soul. No, Anakin says firmly. I won't join you. Not for Padme, not for power, not for anything. Let me tell you what happens next. I activate Order 66 within the week. Your freed clones save some Jedi, maybe 100, maybe 200. The rest die. The Republic becomes the Empire. And you spend the rest of your short life running, hunted, watching everyone you care about suffer because you were too stubborn to accept reality. Or I kill you right now. End this before you can activate anything. Go ahead. Palpatine spreads his arms, inviting the attack. Draw your lightsaber. Strike me down. But know this, I've set up dead man switches. If I die unexpectedly, Order 66 activates automatically, along with several other contingencies. You kill me, the Jedi die anyway, and you'll have murdered the Supreme Chancellor, making you a traitor. The clones will hunt you. The Republic will condemn you. You'll become the villain you saw in your vision, just through a different path. You're lying. Are you willing to bet the lives of every Jedi on that guess? No, Anakin. The only way forward is cooperation. Join me, and we rule together. Refuse, and we all burn. Anakin stands frozen. Every option leads to disaster. Kill Palpatine. Trigger Order 66. Refuse him. He activates it anyway. Join him. Become the monster from the vision. There has to be another way. There has to be. I need time to think, Anakin says. You have until tomorrow. After that, I assume your answer is no, and I proceed accordingly. Now leave. And Anakin, don't try anything clever. I'm watching, always watching. The emergency meeting Anakin returns to the Resolute in a daze. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are waiting in his quarters, their faces tight with concern. What happened? Obi-Wan demands. You were in there for an hour. We almost came in after you. Palpatine knows. About the chips, about what we've been doing. He knows everything. How? Monitoring systems. Fail-safes. He's been tracking every chip we remove. He knows which clones are freed. He knows we're preparing to resist Order 66. Then he'll activate it immediately, Ahsoka says, her voice tight. We need to warn the Council. Evacuate the temple. Get as many Jedi to safety as possible. We have maybe a week. He gave me an ultimatum. Join him or watch everyone die. He's giving me time to decide. That's not a real choice, Obi-Wan says. He's manipulating you, making you feel like you have control when you don't. I know. But Master, he said he has dead man switches. If we kill him, Order 66 activates automatically. We can't stop this by removing him. He's planned for that. Then what do? Anakin paces, his prosthetic hand flexing restlessly. We accelerate our plans. Remove chips from as many clones as possible in the next week. Warn every Jedi we can. Prepare evacuation routes. And we find Palpatine's dead man switches. If they exist, they must be physical devices. Computers, servers, something that can be destroyed. That's a lot to accomplish in a week. Then we work fast. Master, I need you to contact the Council. Tell them we have credible intelligence that a mass attack on the Jedi is imminent. Don't mention the source. Just get them to increase security and prepare contingencies. They'll want details. Give them what you can, without revealing everything. Tell them a Sith conspiracy is about to culminate. That we need to be ready to evacuate the temple on short notice. That clones might turn on us. That last part will cause panic. Better panic than death. Ahsoka, you work with Rex and the freed clones. Identify which units are most dangerous, ones with large numbers of chip-controlled troopers and Jedi commanders. We prioritize removing chips from those units. Understood, Master. And someone needs to protect Padme. If Palpatine activates Order 66, he might move against her directly. She's one of the few people I care about that he knows about. I'll assign temple guards to protect her, Obi-Wan offers, under the guise of protecting a key senator during the crisis. Good. We have 1 week to prepare for the worst. Let's make it count. The race against time the next 7 days are chaos. Controlled, purposeful chaos, but chaos nonetheless. Kix and his team of freed clone medics work around the clock. They set up mobile surgical units on multiple ships, conducting chip removals under the cover of treating combat injuries. By the end of the week, they've freed 138 more clones. Combined with previous removals, that's 185 freed clones out of 3 million. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. But it's all they can manage. Obi-Wan meets with the Council. His warning is received with skepticism but not dismissed. Master Yoda senses truth in his words. Mace Windu orders increased security around the temple. Contingency plans are activated, evacuation routes identified, emergency communication protocols established, safe houses throughout the galaxy prepared. The Council doesn't understand the full scope of the threat. Obi-Wan carefully avoids mentioning Palpatine by name or revealing the source of his intelligence. But they prepare nonetheless. Ahsoka works with Rex to identify critical units. The 501st is first. Anakin's own legion, the one that will lead the temple assault in the original timeline. They managed to free 23 501st troopers, including key officers and sergeants. The 212th Attack Battalion, under Obi-Wan's command, receives similar attention. Commander Cody is freed on day 3. He immediately begins identifying trustworthy men in his battalion. The 327th Star Corps under Aayla Secura, the 104th Battalion under Plo Koon, the 41st Elite Corps under Luminara Unduli. One by one, commanders are freed, networks established. But it's a race they're losing. For every clone freed, thousands remain under chip control. For every Jedi warned, dozens remain ignorant of the threat. Anakin barely sleeps. He coordinates operations, monitors Palpatine through the Force, checks in with freed clones, and maintains the appearance of normalcy in front of those who don't know the conspiracy. And he visits Padme. She knows something is wrong the moment he enters her apartment. Ani, what's happening? You look exhausted. And there are Jedi guards outside my door claiming it's for my protection. It is. Padme, I need to tell you something, and you need to listen carefully without interrupting. He tells her everything. Mortis. The vision. Palpatine being Sidious. Order 66. The race to remove chips before the Sith Lord activates his final plan. When he finishes, Padme sits in stunned silence. Then, the Chancellor. I've worked with him for years. Trusted him. He's been manipulating me, too? Using his friendship with me to get close to you? Yes. Everything he's done has been calculated. Padme, when Order 66 is activated, you need to be somewhere safe. Somewhere Palpatine can't reach you. I'm not running while the Republic burns. If Palpatine is what you say he is, I'm staying to fight. In the Senate. Politically, that's where I can do the most good. He threatened you, said he'd kill you if I didn't join him. Then we don't give him the chance. Ani, we stop this conspiracy. Together. All of us. Her determination is one of the things he loves about her. Padme Amidala doesn't run from threats. She faces them head on. But it also terrifies him. In the vision, she dies. Her broken heart, the medical droids unable to save her. He can't lose her. Not again. Promise me you'll be careful, he says, taking her hands, his flesh and his metal clasping hers. Only if you promise the same. Ani, we're in this together. Whatever happens, we face it together. The final day, day 7, arrives. Anakin hasn't given Palpatine an answer, hasn't returned to his office. The silence is its own answer. Refusal. Anakin stands on the bridge of the Resolute, watching Coruscant grow larger through the viewport. The fleet has been recalled to the capital, unusual but explained as preparation for a major offensive. In reality, it's positioning. getting as many Jedi and freed clones as possible near the temple for when Order 66 activates. Rex approaches, his armor scarred from recent battles. General, all units report ready. We freed 193 clones total. It's not many, but they're positioned strategically. When the order comes, they'll be able to protect their Jedi commanders and start freeing others. Good work, Rex. How are the men handling this? Knowing what's in their heads? Scared, angry, but determined. Sir, no clone wants to be a puppet. We're soldiers, not droids. The freed clones understand what's at stake. They'll do their duty. I know they will. Rex, when this is over, when we've stopped Palpatine and removed all the chips, the Republic owes you. All of you, you're not property. You're people. That needs to be recognized legally. One battle at a time, sir. Let's survive Order 66 first. Anakin's comlink chimes. It's Obi-Wan. Anakin, the Council wants to meet. All of us. They sense something is about to happen. Master Yoda says the Force is screaming a warning. I'll be there. Bridge to Council Chamber? Council Chamber. In person. They want to see your face when you explain what's coming. This is it. The moment when Anakin has to reveal everything to the Council. Not just warnings, but the full truth. Palpatine's identity, the vision from Mortis, the desperate plan to stop Order 66 before it kills them all. Either they believe him and act, or they dismiss him as unstable, and Order 66 proceeds as planned. Either way, the endgame has arrived. The Council Chamber, the 12 seats of the Jedi Council are occupied. Every master present, not holographically, but in person. Master Yoda sits in his customary position, his ancient eyes grave. Mace Windu stands with arms crossed, his expression unreadable. Kia di Mundi, Plo Koon, Shak Ti, Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, Sesi Tien, Stas Ali, Adi Galia, even Piel, and Oporankasis complete the circle. Anakin stands in the center, Obi-Wan beside him. Ahsoka waits outside. This conversation is for full Jedi only. Called this emergency session we have, Yoda begins. Because great disturbance in the Force we sense. Coming to a head, something is. Speak you will, Skywalker. Truth you will tell. No more half answers. Anakin takes a breath. This is the moment. Full transparency or continued secrecy. He's chosen transparency. Holding back hasn't worked. Palpatine knows their plans. The only path forward is complete honesty and unified action. Masters, what I'm about to tell you will sound impossible. You'll want to dismiss it as the ravings of someone affected by dark side visions. But I'm asking you to listen. Hear me out completely before deciding. We're listening, Mace Windu says, though his tone suggests limited patience. On Mortis, the sun showed me a vision. Not a possible future. The future. My future. I saw myself fall to the dark side and become Darth Vader, a Sith Lord who serves the Emperor for 23 years. I saw the Jedi Order destroyed through something called Order 66. I saw the Republic become a tyrannical empire. And I saw who orchestrates all of it. Chancellor Palpatine. He is Darth Sidious. The chamber erupts. Multiple masters speak at once, their voices overlapping in denial and shock. Preposterous. Ki-Adi-Mundi's voice rises above the others. Chancellor Palpatine has been the Jedi's strongest ally throughout the war. A vision cannot be trusted as absolute truth, Adi Galia adds. The dark side clouds everything. Anakin, Mace Windu's voice cuts through the chaos. These are extraordinary claims. What evidence do you have beyond a vision? Physical evidence of the conspiracy. Masters, there are inhibitor chips in every clone trooper's brain. Organic control devices that can override their free will. When Order 66 is activated, these chips force the clones to kill their Jedi generals. Over the past month, I've been removing chips from select clones and documenting the process. We've freed 193 troopers so far. The chips are real. The threat is real. Show us, Yoda commands. This evidence, see it we must. Anakin activates a holoprojector. Images appear. Medical scans showing chips embedded in clone brains, surgical footage of removals, testimony from freed clones. Captain Rex appears in a recorded message, explaining how the chip felt when it was removed. A weight lifted, foreign programming purged. The Council watches in silence. When the presentation ends, several masters look shaken. If these chips exist, Shakti says slowly, Why were we not informed? I've been overseeing clone production on Kamino for 2 years. I've never heard of inhibitor chips, because they're classified at the highest level. Only the Kaminoan Prime Minister and whoever ordered their installation know about them. The chips were hidden in plain sight, integrated so thoroughly with clone neural tissue that they appear to be natural brain structures unless you know specifically what to look for. And you discovered this how? Mace challenges. Through your vision? Yes, the sun showed me Order 66 being executed, showed me clones turning on their Jedi across the galaxy. I saw Master Windu die, Master Yoda forced into exile, the temple burning, thousands of Jedi murdered by the very soldiers we fought beside. That vision gave me the knowledge to find the chips. And everything I've found confirms what I saw. Even if the chips exist, Oppo Rankisis argues, that doesn't prove Palpatine is Sidious. The Chancellor could be a victim of this conspiracy, not its architect. I've confronted him directly, twice. He admitted his identity to me, confirmed his plans, threatened Senator Amidala if I didn't join him. Masters, I know this is hard to accept. Palpatine has cultivated relationships with all of you for years. He's positioned himself as a friend to the Jedi. But it's been a cover. Everything he's done has been manipulation to position himself for the final strike. Confronted him? Mace's voice rises. You confronted a potential Sith Lord alone? Twice? Anakin, that's reckless beyond measure. If he really is Sidious, he could have killed you. He didn't. He wanted to talk. To give me the option of joining him. He sees me as the chosen one, someone powerful enough to be his apprentice. He's been grooming me for years, positioning himself as a mentor and friend while subtly undermining my faith in the Council. And clearly succeeding, Ki-Adi-Mundi observes coldly, you've been operating behind the Council's back, removing chips from clones without authorization, meeting secretly with the Chancellor, conducting your own investigation. This is exactly the kind of rogue behavior we've always feared from you, Skywalker. Because the Council moves too slowly. Anakin's frustration breaks through. If I had brought this to you immediately after Mortis, you would have demanded proof. Ordered investigations. Debated for weeks. By the time you decided to act, Palpatine would have activated Order 66. I didn't have time for due process. I had to act. And in acting alone, you may have triggered the very catastrophe you sought to prevent, Mundi counters. If Palpatine knows we're onto him, he'll activate his plan immediately. He's already planning to, within days. Masters, we're out of time. We need to move against Palpatine now, before he can give the order. Move against the Supreme Chancellor? Adigalia's voice carries horror. That would be treason. The Senate would never support it. We'd be branded as traitors attempting a coup. Not if we have evidence. Not if we can prove he's Sidious. And how do we prove it? Mace demands. Your testimony about private conversations isn't admissible. The chips could be a separatist plot, not proof of Palpatine's involvement. We need something concrete, something undeniable. Then we make him reveal himself. Force a confrontation where he has to use his Sith powers in front of witnesses. Once he's exposed, we can arrest him legally. Risky, Plo Koon observes. If the confrontation goes wrong, people could die. People will die anyway if we do nothing. Masters, in the vision, nearly all of you died during Order 66. Master Windu, you died trying to arrest Palpatine after he revealed himself. Master Yoda, you were forced into exile after barely escaping with your life. Master Plo, your starfighter, was shot down by your own wingman. I watched the Jedi Order, 10,000 strong, reduced to maybe 100 survivors. Is that the fate you want? Silence. The weight of Anakin's words settles over the chamber. Finally, Yoda speaks, his voice heavy with age and wisdom. Strong, the dark side around the Chancellor is. Sense it, I always have. But attributed it to the stress of leadership I did, to the burdens of war. Now wonder, I do, was it always there? Has Sidious been beside us all along, and too blind were we to see? Master Yoda, Mace says, you're not seriously considering. Consider, I must. Too much evidence there is. The chips. The vision. Anakin's certainty. And most damning, the Force itself screams warning. Something terrible approaches. Act, we must. But carefully. Wisely. What do you propose? Shak Ti asks. Test the Chancellor. We will. Confront him with evidence of the chips. See how he reacts. If innocent he is, concerned he will be. If Sidious he is, reveal himself he might. And if he activates Order 66 the moment we confront him? Kit Fisto asks. Then the freed clones buy us time. Obi-Wan answers. 193 clones across key legions. They won't be able to stop Order 66 completely, but they can protect their Jedi commanders. Give us time to evacuate the temple and organize resistance. This is madness, Mundi declares. We're gambling the entire order on the word of one Jedi and his dark side vision. No, Mace Windu says, his voice firm. We're gambling the order on evidence. The chips are real. We've seen the scans, the surgery footage, the testimony. Something is coming. Whether it's Palpatine or someone else, we need to be ready. Master Yoda is right. We move carefully, but we move. A vote, Yoda calls. Move against the Chancellor, should we? Those in favor? Hands rise. Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, Shak Ti, Agen Kolar, Saisi Tian, 8 of 12. It's decided, Mace announces. We confront Palpatine. Tomorrow, a delegation will visit his office. Myself, Master Fisto, Master Kolar, Master Team. We'll present evidence of the chips and gauge his reaction. If he's innocent, he'll cooperate. If he's Sidious, he'll reveal himself. I'm coming with you, Anakin says immediately. No, you've already confronted him twice. Your presence will escalate the situation. You stay at the temple with the other Jedi. Protect the younglings in case Order 66 activates while we're gone. Master Windu, that's an order, Skywalker. For once, follow it. The calm before that night, Anakin can't sleep. He stands in the temple's meditation garden, staring up at Coruscant's light-polluted sky. Somewhere out there, Palpatine is planning, preparing, waiting. Obi-Wan finds him. You should rest. Tomorrow will be difficult. I can't. Master, Mace is walking into a trap. In the vision, he leads the mission to arrest Palpatine. Palpatine kills Masters Kolar and Tian immediately, then Fisto. Only Mace survives long enough to disarm him. And then he can't finish. Can't say that he betrayed Mace. Let Palpatine kill him. You're not that person, Obi-Wan says firmly. You've made different choices. Change the timeline. Whatever happened in the vision won't happen the same way. Unless it does. Unless the Force finds a way to make it happen anyway. What if I've only delayed the inevitable? Then you've given the Jedi a fighting chance instead of none. Anakin, you've removed chips from nearly 200 clones. You've warned the Council. You've prepared contingencies. In the original timeline, the Jedi walked into Order 66 completely blind. This time, we see it coming. That changes everything. Does it? We've freed less than 1% of the clone army. When Order 66 activates, thousands of Jedi will still die, but thousands more will survive. Focus on that, on what we've saved, not what we can't. Footsteps approach. Ahsoka joins them, her face troubled. Master, I've been thinking. If Order 66 happens tomorrow while you're at the temple and the Council is at Palpatine's office, who protects Padme? The question hits like a punch. In all the planning, Anakin hasn't considered that specific scenario. If the confrontation with Palpatine triggers Order 66 and Anakin is stuck at the temple protecting younglings, and the Council is fighting Palpatine who ensures Padme's safety, the temple guards I assigned to her, Obi-Wan says. They'll protect her. From clone troopers with inhibitor chips? Master Kenobi, there are clone battalions stationed throughout the Senate District. If Order 66 activates, they'll be in her vicinity. Then I'll go to her, Anakin decides. Stay with her during the confrontation. If Order 66 activates, I'll protect her and get her somewhere safe. The Council ordered you to stay at the temple, Obi-Wan reminds him. The Council doesn't know Padme is my wife. Doesn't know Palpatine has threatened her specifically. Master, I have to protect her. The younglings have dozens of Jedi in the temple. Padme will have no one if I'm not there. Obi-Wan sighs. I won't stop you. But Anakin, be careful. If Palpatine is monitoring you, and he probably is, he'll know you're not at the temple. He might use that knowledge somehow. Let him try. I'm not losing Padme. Not again. The confrontation morning arrives. Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and Saisi Tian depart for the Chancellor's office. They fly in an unmarked transport, avoiding fanfare. To outside observers, it's just Jedi conducting routine business. But every Jedi at the temple knows the truth. This is the moment. Either Palpatine is arrested, or Order 66 begins. Anakin flies to Padme's apartment. She's waiting, dressed in practical clothing rather than senatorial robes, ready to run if necessary. "You came," she says, relief evident. "I promised I'd protect you. Whatever happens today, we face it together." They watch the news feeds. Nothing unusual. The Senate is in session. The war continues. Coruscant goes about its business, unaware that in the Chancellor's office, the fate of the Republic is being decided. Then, without warning, every screen in the apartment flickers. An override transmission, Priority Alpha, broadcast to every clone trooper in the galaxy. Palpatine's face appears. Not the grandfatherly Chancellor, but something else. Yellow eyes, Sith corruption visible, rage contorting his features. "Execute Order 66. 3 words. Simple. Absolute. Across the galaxy, 3 million clone troopers stop what they're doing. Their eyes glaze, their personalities submerge beneath programming. And they turn on their Jedi generals. Anakin feels it through the Force. Thousands of lights snuffing out simultaneously. Jedi dying on 100 worlds? The scream of the Force itself as life is murdered on a scale unseen in millennia. "It's happening," he whispers. "It's really happening." Padme grabs his arm. "We need to leave. Now. If clones are turning on Jedi, they'll come for you. The temple. I have to. You can't help them if you're dead. Ani, please." We run. We survive. Then we fight back. Outside, they hear blaster fire. Screams. The sounds of clones executing their programming. Anakin looks out the window and sees it. Clone troopers gunning down Jedi throughout the Senate district. A Jedi Knight, he doesn't recognize her, falls from a platform, shot by her own escort. His comlink crackles. Obi-Wan's voice strained. "Anakin? Order 66 has been activated." Palpatine revealed himself. "He's fighting Mace and the others. We need backup." The transmission cuts off. Not ended deliberately, severed by interference or destruction of the transmission source. Anakin makes a decision. "We're going to the Senate, to Palpatine's office. That's where this ends." "Are you insane?" "You'll be flying into the center of the crisis." "Exactly. Where else would I be?" "Padme, Palpatine has revealed himself. The Council is fighting him. I need to be there. To end this." She sees the determination in his eyes and nods. "Then I'm coming with you. You're not facing him alone. Padme, don't argue. We're wasting time." They run to the landing platform. Anakin's starfighter is there, but it's a single-seater. He commandeers a Senate transport instead. Larger, slower, but capable of carrying passengers. The flight to the Senate building is chaos. Aerial traffic is panicked. Ships fleeing in all directions. Clone gunships patrol the approaches. But Anakin's Jedi credentials still work, for now. They land at a Senate platform. Inside the building, it's worse. Clone troopers march through corridors, hunting Jedi. Bodies lie scattered. Jedi Knights cut down trying to escape. Anakin ignites his lightsaber, cutting through clone squads that try to stop them. These clones still have their chips. They're not brothers anymore. They're puppets. Anakin fights with precision, disabling rather than killing when possible. But some die. There's no avoiding it. Padme follows, armed with a blaster, covering their backs. They fight their way to the Chancellor's office through smoke and carnage. The doors to Palpatine's office are blown open, hanging from their hinges. Inside, devastation. Ajin Kolar lies dead near the entrance, his body burned by Force lightning. Saesee Tiin collapsed by the window, lightsaber wounds through his chest. Kit Fisto slumped against a wall, barely alive, his face scarred by dark-side energy, and in the center, Mace Windu duels Palpatine. The Sith Lord has dropped all pretense. His face is twisted by dark-side corruption, his eyes burning yellow, his movements inhumanly fast. He wields a red lightsaber with deadly precision, his other hand throwing Force lightning that Mace barely deflects. "You should have joined me when you had the chance," Palpatine screams at Mace. "Now you die with the rest of your pathetic order." Mace's vapid form feeds on Palpatine's dark side energy, turning it back against him. They're evenly matched, Palpatine's raw power against Mace's skill and determination, until Anakin enters. Palpatine sees him and smiles through the rage. Anakin, perfect timing. Help me destroy this traitor. Together we can rule the galaxy. It's the moment from the vision, the choice that defined Vader. Help Palpatine and fall to the dark side, or help Mace and stay in the light. In the original timeline, Anakin chose wrong. Fear for Padme, distrust of the Council, Palpatine's promises, they all pushed him to betray Mace. This time Anakin knows the truth, knows where that choice leads, knows what he'll become if he gives in to fear. No, Anakin says, igniting his lightsaber. I'm with the Jedi, he charges. Not at Mace, at Palpatine. His blue blade crashes against the Sith Lord's red one. Palpatine staggers back, suddenly fighting two Jedi Masters instead of one. You fool, Palpatine snarls. You've chosen death over power. I've chosen life over slavery. There's a difference. The duel becomes brutal. Anakin's form. Aggressive, powerful, relentless. Mace's Vapad. Channeling darkness back at its source. Palpatine is strong, skilled, fueled by decades of dark side mastery. But he's fighting two of the best duelists in the Order simultaneously. He can't win. Not fairly. So he cheats. Palpatine throws lightning at Padme. She's standing near the door trying to drag Kit Fisto to safety. The lightning catches her unprepared, throwing her against the wall. She screams, her body convulsing. No! Anakin breaks from the duel, racing toward her. It's exactly what Palpatine wants. Divide their forces, create an opening. He turns his lightning on Mace, the full force of his power unleashed. Mace deflects with his lightsaber, but the sheer intensity pushes him back. His boots slide on the polished floor. His arms shake with effort. You see, Palpatine shouts at Anakin. This is what happens when you oppose me. Everyone you love suffers. Join me, and I'll spare her. Refuse, and she dies. Anakin reaches Padme. She's alive, hurt, but alive. The lightning scorched her clothes, left burns on her skin. But she's breathing, conscious. Go, she gasps. Help Mace. Finish this. I can't leave you. Go. The command in her voice, Senator's authority, wife's desperation, galvanizes him. Anakin turns back to the duel. Mace is losing ground, his defenses faltering. Palpatine is too strong, too relentless. But Anakin has something Mace doesn't. Knowledge of the future. He knows Palpatine's tactics, knows how the Sith Lord fights, knows his weaknesses. In the vision, Mace disarmed Palpatine, left him seemingly helpless. That's when Palpatine used his greatest weapon, deception, pretended to be weak, played on Anakin's fear and distrust, manipulated him into betrayal. Not this time. Anakin reaches out with the Force, not to attack, but to support. He shares his strength with Mace through their bond, reinforces his defenses, steadies his footing. It's a technique Jedi use in battle, linking their power to amplify each other. Mace feels it and responds. His Vapad intensifies, feeding on both Palpatine's darkness and Anakin's support. He presses the attack, driving Palpatine back step by step. Impossible! Palpatine's face contorts with rage. I am the Dark Lord of the Sith. I will not be defeated by Mace's blade slices through Palpatine's lightsaber, severing it in half. The Sith Lord stumbles, suddenly weaponless. For a moment they freeze. Palpatine stands before them, disarmed, his face a mask of dark corruption. Mace holds his lightsaber to the Sith Lord's throat. It's over, Mace says quietly. You've lost. Have I? Palpatine's smile is terrible. Order 66 is already active. Across the galaxy, Jedi are dying. Even if you kill me, the Order falls. I've won. No, Anakin says. We freed nearly 200 clones. They're protecting their Jedi commanders, countermanding the Order in their units. You haven't won. You've just accelerated your own defeat. 200 clones? Palpatine laughs, the sound bitter and mocking. Against 3 million, you've saved nothing. A few dozen Jedi survive at most. The Order is still destroyed. The Republic still becomes the Empire. My apprentice, Count Dooku, still controls the Separatists. My plans still unfold. You've merely delayed the inevitable. Then we'll defeat Dooku too, Mace says. Expose the entire conspiracy. The Republic will endure. But you won't. Anakin, call the Temple Guards. We're taking him into custody. You can't be serious, Palpatine sneers. Put me on trial? I control the Senate. Half the politicians in this building owe me their careers. You'll be painted as traitors. The Republic will tear itself apart. Maybe, Anakin agrees, but at least you'll be in prison while it happens. Not sitting in the Chancellor's office pulling strings? He activates his comlink. Temple, this is Skywalker. Palpatine is in custody. We need... The comlink crackles with static. Then a voice. Master Yoda, Anakin, report, you must. How many Jedi live? I don't know, Master. Order 66 was activated. How's the temple? Holding. The freed clones, protecting us they are. Many younglings evacuated we have. But losses, heavy they are. Across the galaxy, dying Jedi are. Feel it through the Force, I do. We have Palpatine. He's alive. Can we broadcast his capture? Let the clones know their commander has been arrested? Try we will. But the chips, overriding individual judgment they are. Most clones, stop. They will not until programming breaks or we remove chips manually. Anakin closes his eyes, reaching out with the Force. He senses the deaths, not thousands as in the original timeline, but hundreds. Jedi falling on 100 worlds despite the freed clones' efforts. They've saved many, but not enough. Not nearly enough. The aftermath. Palpatine is taken into custody by temple guards, bound in force-suppressing restraints and locked in the deepest cells beneath the temple. His arrest is broadcast across the Republic. The Supreme Chancellor revealed as Darth Sidious, captured by Jedi Masters. The reaction is chaos. Half the Senate demands his immediate release, claiming the Jedi have staged a coup. The other half demands his execution for treason. The Republic teeters on the edge of civil war, but the evidence is undeniable. Recordings of his fight with Mace, his yellow Sith eyes caught on camera, his use of Force lightning, his own words admitting his identity as Darth Sidious, and most damning, Count Dooku's testimony. With Palpatine captured, Dooku sees no reason to maintain silence. He surrenders to Republic forces and confirms everything. Palpatine created both sides of the war, controlled the Separatists, planned to destroy the Jedi. Order 66 is officially cancelled within hours of Palpatine's arrest, but the damage is done. The chips remain in most clones' brains, and without the override command, they stay dormant but dangerous. The freed clones, now numbering over 300 as more are located and treated, become the core of a new program, systematic chip removal from every clone in the Grand Army. It takes 6 months. 6 months of surgery, recovery, and rehabilitation. But by the end, every clone trooper is freed from the programming. They're given a choice: continue military service voluntarily or pursue civilian lives with Republic support. Most choose to stay, but now they serve by choice, not compulsion. The Jedi Order. The final count of Jedi deaths from Order 66, 647. Out of nearly 10,000. It's a catastrophic loss. Entire lineages wiped out, temples on Outer Rim worlds destroyed. But compared to the original timeline, where fewer than 100 Jedi survived, it's a miracle. The Council meets to assess the damage and chart the path forward. Master Yoda, older than ever, addresses the assembly. Failed, the Jedi did. Not in stopping Palpatine, succeeded there, we did. But in seeing the threat. In recognizing evil beside us for so long. Blind we were, arrogant, too certain of our righteousness. Change we must, or doomed to repeat these mistakes we are. The reforms that follow are comprehensive. The prohibition on attachment is relaxed. Jedi are permitted to form deep relationships, even marry, as long as those bonds don't become possessive or fear-driven. Anakin and Padme's marriage is publicly acknowledged, setting precedent. The Jedi withdraw from military command. They advise the Republic's new volunteer defense forces, but don't lead armies. They return to their traditional role as peacekeepers and diplomats. Training is reformed. Younglings are taught to acknowledge and manage emotions rather than suppress them. The goal becomes balance, feeling deeply while not being controlled by those feelings. New temples are established across the galaxy rather than concentrating all Jedi on Coruscant. The Order decentralizes, becoming harder to destroy with a single strike. The Order survives, Mace Windu tells Anakin during a private meeting. Because you kept your memories from Mortis, because you had the courage to act on terrible knowledge. The galaxy owes you a debt it will never fully repay. I didn't save everyone, Anakin says quietly. 647 Jedi died. That's on me. No, that's on Palpatine. You saved over 9,000. Focus on that. 5 years later, Anakin Skywalker, now 26 years old, stands in the new Jedi Temple on Alderaan. The building is smaller than the Coruscant Temple was, more integrated with the natural landscape. It feels alive in a way the old temple never did. His twins, Luke and Leia, now 3 years old, play in the gardens under Ahsoka's supervision. She's a Jedi Knight now, one of the youngest ever elevated after her actions during Order 66. She teaches the next generation with wisdom beyond her years. Padme approaches, her belly swollen with their third child, thinking deep thoughts, Master Jedi. Just remembering. The vision. The future that didn't happen. Do you regret it? Keeping the memories? Sometimes I see the weight in your eyes. The burden of knowing what could have been. Every day. But Padme, look at what we have. Our children growing up in peace. The Republic reformed and strengthened. The Jedi Order renewed. Clones who are finally free. All of this exists because I remembered. Because I chose differently. And Vader? The monster you could have become? Gone. Prevented. That future doesn't exist anymore. Luke and Leia aren't heroes who redeem their fallen father. They're just kids who get to be kids. That's better than any destiny. Obi-Wan joins them, his beard graying at the temples. The council is convening. They want to discuss the new Padawan assignments. Your son requested you as his master, you know. He's only 3, but apparently he's very insistent. Anakin laughs. He gets that from his mother, stubborn and determined. He gets it from both of you. Come. Let's build the future we fought for. They walk together toward the council chamber. Through the windows, Anakin can see younglings, training, Jedi meditating, ships arriving with diplomats seeking assistance. The Order is thriving. He thinks about the vision from Mortis, about Darth Vader, the monster he never became, about the empire that never rose, about the millions who lived because he kept his memories and made different choices. The father's final words echo in his mind. The future is always in motion. He changed it, bent destiny to his will, proved that even the darkest future can be prevented through courage, sacrifice, and trust. Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one who kept his memories from Mortis, brought balance to the Force, not by destroying the Sith after serving them, but by preventing their victory in the first place. And in a quiet temple on Alderaan, surrounded by family and friends, he finally finds peace. EPI log. The will of the Force, 10 years after Palpatine's arrest. The former Sith Lord dies in prison. His body simply gives out, unable to sustain itself without access to the dark side. He dies alone, forgotten by most, his empire unrealized. But before he dies, he writes a message, a warning, a prophecy. The Jedi find it in his cell after his death. I may have failed, but the dark side is eternal. Someone else will rise. Someone else will try what I could not accomplish. The Sith are patient. We wait. We watch. We return. And when we do, the Jedi will fall. If not today, then tomorrow. If not this generation, then the next. The dark side always returns. Master Yoda reads the message and burns it. Right, he is, the ancient master says quietly. The dark side, eternal it is. Rise again, it will. But ready we will be. Learned our lessons, we have. Next time, vigilant we will remain. Anakin reads a copy before it's destroyed. The threat sends a chill through him, but he also feels something else. Resolve. Let the dark side return. Let new Sith rise. The Jedi will be ready. Not blind and arrogant as before, but alert and prepared. The Order he helped save will stand against future threats, stronger for having survived this one. He thinks of Luke and Leia, now 13 years old, training as Padawans. Of his youngest daughter, Shmi, named after his mother, who shows Force potential at age 8. Of the next generation of Jedi, raised in an order that learned from its mistakes. They'll face challenges. The dark side will test them. But they'll have something the old order didn't. The knowledge that darkness can be beaten. That destiny can be changed. That even the darkest future is not inevitable. Anakin Skywalker proved it. And the galaxy is better for it. Subscribe for more alternate Star Wars timelines. Comment what if scenario you want to see next. The end.